We spent the better part of a week hanging out at Universal, and it reminded us why we were doing all this kind of things in the van so that we could have more of an opportunity to travel.
We spent our first night in the van with this build, and there were a couple of things that we noticed with the bed that we have to update.
The back couch cushion doesn't stay put very well on the bed when the bed is pulled out. So we've got some Velcro that we're going to put onto it. We're going to sew the Velcro on the cushion and then put one of the pieces on the wood. That should help keep it in place.
The pillows that we used from our regular bed were way too big, and we really couldn't find a comfortable position. They just took up too much room. So we ordered some smaller throw pillows that should be comfortable, hopefully, and some pillowcases and some new sheets as well. So that way everything will match and look pretty good.
We're also going to put a shelf up here on top so we have a place to put the sheets when we're not using them. Also towels and some odds and ends things. Maybe shoes could go up here. So that's probably one of the first things that we're going to do. We also have to finish trimming out the metal here and this metal over here as well. Another thing that we're going to be working on is an outdoor area. So we have some material to make a little awning and some tent poles. So we'll be able to have a little canopy that stretches out over the back of the van so that we have a little comfy picnic area outside. I'm Alex.
I'm Kaylee.
And we are Pinter Whitnick.
We're musicians currently living in Detroit, and after spending 2020 stuck in our studio apartment, we've decided to move into our van and travel full-time.
Join us as we get the van ready and take our shenanigans on the road. Finish the trim around here. It looks all right. It's not perfect, but it's gonna be covered up by a shelf on this side. And the same with over here. Let's clean it up just a bit. How perfect this little workbench is for this size.
Perfect. Good job.
Slide downtown.
That looks great.
We have the shelf mounted up here. And this is gonna be painted white tomorrow. So we were thinking of putting this up here to hold our sheets when we put the bed up. So we just threw our sheets up here just to see about how much room it would take up, and maybe towels and some odds and ends things. But we're pretty psyched about how that's looking.
I'm really excited about that. It looks really nice.
Spice rack is pretty much done. It's all built. We're gonna stick some Velcro on there. So Velcro on the jars and then Velcro on here. Kaylee's gonna paint it tomorrow. We'll have enough room to fit 15 spice jars. So we'll have to pick the ones we want out wisely. Other than that, I think we're in good shape. We're gonna call it a night. We got the spice rack done and the shelf done. Our next step this morning is to get this mattress secured to the frame. We're going to use some Velcro with one side on the frame and one side sewn onto the mattress so that this will stay on better but then also be removable when we want to take it out. There's still 2 more to go on the back cushion, and then we're gonna try to figure out how to stealthily sneak some Velcro up on these walls. Velcro has now been sewed onto the back cushion, and so now it's stuck up on the wall. Some Velcro. This is stuck on here with some Velcro. The last thing to do with the Velcro is to pull the bed out and stick some there so that the back cushion can stay in place. We finished sticking the Velcro to the bed frame, so now hopefully the cushions will stay in place a little better, and they'll also stay up against the wall a little better. Okay, I finished the sanding for this top shelf here and for the spice rack. So Kaylee's going to be painting them in just a bit. She's working on the last part of the mural for the name reveal. So I'm back under the van here. The winch ended up being at an angle a bit, so when we got the rod that cranks the winch down, it doesn't fit in there cleanly, so I'm gonna have to adjust this up a little bit so it fits more vertically. And then we had one other cable here that had to be just attached to the frame, so we just got another one of those nuts that we used for these and figured we could just do that right there. Now we have this adjusted up vertical. So this rod should sit down in here. That's not quite perfectly vertical, but that'll work just fine for our purposes. Hopefully we'll never have to use a spare tire, but just in case we do, that'll work out okay. So we have our spare wheel here. It doesn't have a tire on it yet, but we're gonna go ahead and load it up under the van so that we can take it and get our tires changed and put one of the old tires on this wheel here. So for now, we're gonna winch it up for the first time and hopefully everything works out okay. One issue we were trying to resolve was the trash situation. Obviously, we don't want to have trash hanging around in a small van like this for very long, so we wanted a small trash can, but we also wanted something that wouldn't kick around on the floor anywhere or have to be like by our heads or anything like that. So we decided on this cool collapsible trash can that's difficult to show you one-handed, but that folds out like this. It can also pop out even further if you need it to. We can just put a little grocery bag in there and have that be our trash and then empty it pretty regularly. We decided on putting it here. And this way we'll have access to it when the doors open or closed. It won't be in the middle and visible like if it were here. And it'll also be at the end of the counter, so it'll be pretty easy to, if we're chopping veggies, just throw them right in there. So I'm gonna install that now and we're gonna see how it looks. So this works pretty simply. These are just two little adhesive hook things. So we just peel the backing off of this and stick it wherever we want it. So it's stuck on here, and we put a grocery bag in here just to check it out. So we can have it closed up like this when we don't want it, and then just pull out the top, pull the whole thing out. And it stands pretty wide. But this way, when we close it all up, it'll fit nicely right there.
Our paper towel roll, we're trying to find the right spot for it, and we tried right there. We thought about putting it somewhere over here, but that would interfere with the shelving and everything that we need to reach behind it. So we've decided on this lovely space over here right near the door. It's not ideal, but it's honestly the best place for us to put it right now. So
it's not ideal because it's like in the doorway when you're coming in, but then again it's like right by the cooking area too, so it's kind of convenient there.
Right, and here it is in action.
One of the things from having a paper towel dispenser in a van before that I noticed is that every time you drive it unravels a little bit. So we found this cool ratcheting one that should keep our paper towel on the holder. So we realized something that should have been completely obvious, but the ratcheting function on the paper towel holder only holds the paper towel up if it's horizontal. So we put it vertically and you can see that the paper towel just wants to fall. We found an even better spot for it. So we were originally gonna put it somewhere down here, but we were afraid it would interfere with the bed sliding out, and then the door handle is here. We put it up on this little edge piece here, and so it stays up out of the way, and it's easily accessible from the inside. I'm working on a little project here, and this is going to be for an awning coming off the back of the van so we can sit outside. So all I'm going to do is put some magnets on 3 sides of this attached to the back doors. And then we'll have tent poles that holds up the other side. We set up the awning here, and so we got these 2 tent poles, and we still have to put some grommets in the corners here. We'll stake down the corners and it'll be a nice outside area. My mom bought us this outdoor rug too, which is super nice. It's apparently really good at repelling any water or anything, so it's easy to pack up and take back with you without having to let it dry or anything. So we're pretty excited to have this cool outdoor area when we want to be outside the van and set up our chairs and maybe have some dinner out here. Ready to sit down for some lunch here, trying out our awning for the first time.
This is a really nice setup, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's so nice outside today too. Kaylee finished painting the spice rack here. All I have to do now is put some Velcro on each of these levels, attached to spice jars. So we'll be able to have up to 15 spice jars with this. We have the Velcro on it, and the spice rack is now installed into the cabinet. We decided not to attach it. That way we can always take the whole thing out and cook outside if we want. It'll be a little more versatile that way. Kaylee finished painting the shelf as well, and with just 2 screws, it's right back in its place. We're really excited to have this up here because it's kind of a wasted space otherwise. We can't put anything real heavy up there, but there's just a little ledge that'll hold everything in, so it'll hopefully be useful for us. I guess we'll find out.
The good thing about this bed is that we can put storage underneath it. So we have a couple of totes that we've bought, so we can store all of our clothes right under here, and they just slide very easily back in here. So we have a couple of those in here now. A couple friends of ours from when we play at Blue Skies Brewery, they had just moved and they had this in their old home. They gifted it to us because we call all of our vlogs Shenanigans. We decided we'll put that right above the door. Thank you again, Kirsten and Joey.
Thanks, guys. We're on Belle Isle, and we're here to work on some more things in the van. But we did just get our brand new stove in. We really like the way that this one looks. It's got a self-igniter on it, which is something we've never had before. It's also an improvement over our old one because the little regulator that screws in for the propane is made of metal, so it won't melt like our old one that was a hose. So we can put this away while it's still a little warm and not have to worry about anything melting there. Kaylee did a little food prep when we were still in the apartment so that we could have our first meal in the van. We're gonna have some poke bowls. It's gonna be pretty delicious.
I'm excited. Let's dig in.
We got this mirror to put up on this wall behind the bed to kind of make the space seem a little bigger.
We also got it because we didn't really want to climb out of the van in the mornings looking kind of crazy with our hair all messy and whatnot, so this is a nice little thing to put up to check our appearance before we leave.
So to attach it to the wall, we got some heavy-duty Velcro, which will hopefully hold it up okay. It's a pretty light acrylic mirror, but that way we can also pull it off when we're loading stuff in. We have to move some stuff in the apartment still, so it'll be nice to not have to worry about banging into the mirror. The wall angles a little bit, so it's kind of like a funhouse mirror. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I kind of like it.
We got our new pillows up there. The pillows will be throw pillows when we put it back into couch mode here. We got our sheets, and we're liking the way that it looks. One of the last remaining things we have to do with the awning is put in the grommets so that these will be stronger when we put the tent poles in them. So we have our grommet kit here. It's pretty easy. We'll just punch a hole through there and then use these dies to form the grommet around there.
We've been really excited to share with you what we've named the van, because every van has to have a name. And we're both big Jurassic Park fans. We knew we kind of wanted something around that, a name that sort of encompasses our love for Jurassic Park. And we were talking about it, and one day I just sort of threw out this name and it just stuck. So this is what we decided to name the van.